Hello, welcome back to Tell Me in 10. This is another episode for you today, and we are talking all about going back to the gym. So excited. It's that moment because this is what we've been waiting for. 4 months of lockdown, 4 months of thrown around maybe tins and rucksacks filled with Prosecco and water bottles. They're reopening. Can you tell I am excited? Yes, and you should be too. Well, you shouldn't be. If you're not excited, don't worry, just move on. But if you are excited, then hopefully these few tips that I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video will ensure that when you get back moving in the gym, you're one, not going to injure yourself, and two, you're not going to burn yourself out because you've gone a little bit crazy by lifting the same as what you were doing before. So, first things first, you are about to go into the gym, you've had your temperature checked, you've got your face mask on, you've hand sanitized, you're in the gym, and you have no idea what to do. You've got dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, you've got plates, you may even have a climbing frame, you may have a boxing ring, you may have all these different free weights, whatever it is. You will then suddenly feel so overwhelmed, or you might feel so excited that you'll just go and pick up the first few things that you can think of and throw together the hardest workout that you have done all month. We don't want it to happen. We want to go into the gym with a plan. We want to have a progressive program that we can follow over the next few weeks. And we just want to make sure that we take care of our body so we don't pick up any injuries. And yes, you're going to experience DOMS, but they're in a controlled environment. So making sure that before you even go to the gym, before you even step foot inside that heavenly place, you have a program, you have a plan. If you were following a plan before, amazing, you can pick that plan back up, but just strip it back. Just remember that you're not going to be able to lift the same weights as you were lifting 4 months ago, and you may even need to give yourself a little bit longer recovery. Just make sure you have a program. Basically, if you have no idea what a progressive program should look like, by all means drop me a message. I can create programs, I can give you some advice on what programming to start off with, but effectively you want to make sure that whether you're working alone, whether you're following an online program, or whether you have yourself a personal trainer already, just make sure you know where you're starting from and where you're going to be progressing to over the next few weeks. That also then leads me into goal setting, making sure that you set yourself some realistic and achievable goals, because whilst this first few weeks of the gym's opening is going to be great and it's going to be amazing, the novelty is going to be back up there, you want to have goals that are going to keep you consistently building up that strength again. If you don't really know what goals you have, or you've been working on goals throughout lockdown, then you may need to just slightly tweak them. If you don't have any goals and you're like, well, I just want to go back to the gym. Why do you want to go back to the gym? Really sit down and have a think about what it is that you want to achieve. If it's just to feel good, it's to maintain body weight, you don't want to look at losing or building or sculpting, whatever it is. If it is just purely to feel good, then your programming, so the sessions that you do, should also reflect that. So we've got making sure that we have a program and a session plan, setting yourself some goals to, one, make sure that you don't overdo it, but two, continue that progressive overload and that work towards whatever it is that you want to achieve. Next, you want to be patient. You've got to stay patient with this, and this is why we set those goals, because if you are not patient and you run back to the gym and you lift as many heavy weights as possible, you're gonna get injured and you will burn out eventually. After having 4 months of being able to reset, recharge, look at how we live our lives, this is something that we want to avoid. If you were squatting 80 kg before lockdown, it may take you 2 weeks to get there. It may even take you 4 or 5 weeks to get there, but just be patient with yourself, because the last thing we want is to create an injury and to come out of lockdown feeling fit and refreshed to then injuring ourselves. Remember, it will come back, but it will take time, and for some people it will be quicker, for some people it will be slower. It really depends where you're at with your training journey, with how much you have previously worked, and yeah, just be patient. And then of course, be kind to yourself. If you can be patient and you can be kind to yourself, then this whole experience and the whole of lockdown wouldn't have gone to waste, because you're able to feed in everything that you've learned from lockdown into what you can do in the gym. But you've got to be kind to yourself. So if lifting that 16 kg kettlebell feels a bit hard today, then just drop it down to the 12. There's no shame in that. And actually, you might find that you're going to progress much quicker because you're not just suddenly overloading the body and your nervous system with heavy weights. So those are my top tips. Making sure you have a session plan, you have a program that is progressive, so you have that progressive overload in your training as you work through the next few months and weeks, or the next few weeks and months of getting back into the gym. Make sure you have some goals that are realistic and achievable, and that you are patient and kind with yourself, because it's been a rough few months for some of us, and getting back to the gym is gonna feel amazing, but it will only stay amazing if you train smart and you keep a nice balanced lifestyle still, even though we can now go back to the gyms and back to classes. Just don't go mad. Ease yourself back in. So that is this week's Tell Me in 10. I will be back next week with another episode, and I hope you all have a fabulous week.